Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Less Known Classic. This is episode number 2456, double number 20. Actually, it was 2462, double shot 2356. Alright, we're here discussing Marvel Masterworks Marvel Team Up Volume 3. This book surprisingly collects, well, here's what it collects. Marvel Team Up 2330 and Giant Size Spider-Man 1 through 3. Now, I did not suspect it would collect the Giant Size book, but it did. Now, here's a strange fun fact. Issue number 3. Now, this is the first book I've ever seen this issue collected because Marvel cannot legally collect this issue. Why? Because it features Spider-Man team with Doc Savage. Yes, one of like 2 comics he appears outside of his own 2 brief solo books he had for Marvel, and Marvel can't legally collect it because they own rights Doc Savage, but yet somehow it's collected here. My guess is they're able to collect it. Maybe they made an arrangement with Dynamite with it. I have no idea. First issue is teamed with Dracula. Second issue teams up with Shang-Chi. And number 3 teams up with, of course, Doc Savage. I did not suspect this at all. Nope. The book itself, now here's your raters. Now, for the book I collected for the book from 23 to 30, 23, 27, and Giant Spider-Man 1 and 2 was in my late lean ween. Jerry Conway does 28 to 30 and the Giants number 3. Russ Audrey does all 3 Giants books, and pretty much all the main issues in the book are drawn by Jim Mooney. Co-does issue 23 with Gil Kane. The main issues themselves cover a time period of July of 1974 and concludes in February of 1975. Now, in the case of the first issue, mostly we have the Human Torch. Yeah, one of his rare appearances in this book where he's just here without Spider-Man here. He teams with Iceman, and here is something quite strange about this book. This book is sort of a prelude to Giant Size X-Men number 1. Because you have basically Iceman here. They briefly fight, but the team would try to take on Equinox. Equinox would occasionally appear after this. Like, his next appearance was not until issue 59 of this very book. Yeah, just a couple years later. But very interesting the fact this is sort of a prelude to it, and not a bad idea to have these 2 team up. These 2 occasionally turned over the years, but it wouldn't be like a regular thing. Issue 24, you have Spider-Man team with Dr. Voodoo. Dr. Voodoo previously appeared in Zombie number 6. Yeah, it was a feature he had in the book. His next appearance will be Tales of Zombie number 10, which was also the final issue of the whole series. Now, the reason why issue 10 was the final issue because the story goes is that issue 11 got left in a taxi in New York City and it was declared lost, and this was back in the 70s. And because of the book got canceled. Not because of low sales, because they lost the issue. Yep. They're taking on Moondog, the Mishless. Yeah, he is like just a villain appears here. He's basically a one-shot character. It's almost like basically that Lee Wein created this guy just to have him fight Dr. Voodoo for like 1 issue and that's it. Yeah, he does appear again after this. In 25, Spider-Man teams Daredevil. They'll take on the Holy Three, who last appeared back in Daredevil 41. Yep. Really cool idea, this one. Issue 26, yes, you have the Human Torch team with Thor take on take on They Who Will Power. Yeah, this is their debut. The last appearance was Incredible Hulk 211. Yeah, pretty much after this became Hulk villains. It's weird though, you have a group of people who originally fought Thor and the Human Torch, and they become Hulk villains. Also, a Law Man who returns his books in this issue. He makes a character from the Thor comics makes his return here. This is the first time he appeared since Avengers number 5, and he died. This guy here dies. Yep. In 27, Spider-Man teams with the Hulk to take on the Chameleon, a character who Hulk occasionally fight in his own book. The Hulk himself last appeared back in Defender 17. His next appearance after this issue would be in, well, not that book, but yeah, Chameleon, Incredible Hulk 154. His next appearance after this one will be Daredevil 134. It's weird though the fact that Hulk would basically just take two Spider-Man villains out of his throat. At first it was the Rhino and now it's the Chameleon. And then we have, well, Hercules and Spider-Man take on the City Stealers. A group of people who try to steal the city. Yeah, it was a really cool issue. I loved it. Issue 29, we have the Torch team with Iron Man to take on Infertilus, a guy who appeared for this one issue alone. Yeah, let's have Human Torch team with take on the Iron villain. And the last issue mostly put basically his first appearance of Roman Grant. Who is Roman Grant, my ass? He's Gloria Grant's cousin. And he's only appeared in one Era comic after this. His next appearance is in Spider-Man AO97. Yeah. Well, we'll also put a Spider-Man team with the Falcon to take on Midas, Makamero. And he's another kind of one-shot villain. Because after this, he's not appearing again until Web Spider-Man number 3. So yeah. Good issues, but weird though we have to have the characters fight one-shot villains. But the way the book gets better, don't worry about that. But overall, really fun book. Yep. Our next step we have is a character I've only discussed the modern stuff that I've discussed with debut before, but here we go. Marvel Masterworks Spider-Woman Volume 1, which collects Marvel Spotlight 32, Marvel 2-1, 29-33, and the first 8 issues of Spider-Woman. Book itself. Now, here's a little fun fact for you. Like, who created Jessica Drew, this debut of Spider-Woman? Archie Goodwin. Yep. Marvel Woman was the first writer of the book. Yep. He also wrote the Marvel 2-1 issues. Archie Goodwin just did her debut appearance. Everything else in the book is all done by Marvel Woman. The artwork is done by Carmine Fantino. For the main book, anyways. For Marvel 2-1, it was for 29, 31, 33. It's Ron Wills. 32 is basically co-done from what Ron Wills teams up with Sal Buscema. 30 is done by John Buscema. No credit for the artist for Marvel Spotlight. Oh, by the way, the Spider-Man issues, April 1978 to November 1978. Interesting. Well, I've discussed basically Spider-Man's debut before. Which is Age of Hydra, and then of course we have her appear in Marvel 2-1 afterwards, where she's here as basically a brief supporting character in this book. Yeah, it's almost like Marvel was not exactly ready to give her own solo book just yet, but she's here for a few appearances to lead into her book. Now, she appears in issue 29 as a cameo. Well, the Thing teams up with Shang-Chi. And then he takes on... Well, and then of course she appears in the book. And then she continues to appear in the book basically as like... Kind of in the way for 30... Basically for 30 and 31. Basically from like 30 to 32. She's like basically a co-feature of this book. For up until 33. Despite the fact on the cover it says, oh, the Thing, Invisible Girl, the Soviet team was Spider Woman, and in 33 teams with Martian Mystic. He, of course, last appeared back in Marvel Chillers number 2. His next appearance would be in Avengers 185, which is awesome. Spider-Woman herself, right after this issue, would next appear in her own solo book, which this is basically where they wrote her real name, and also where they changed her mask. And also, here's the thing. Some people might think this. Was Jessica Drew always a raven hair woman? No, she was originally a brunette. That's actually hair dye. Yep, hair dye. Yeah, she dyed her hair in issue 1. Also, she changed her mask, where she pulled out the back of her mask to show off her beautiful hair. And that's basically how she was from that point forward. Also, the first appearance of Jerry Hunt. Jerry Hunt was a Shield agent who practically became a supporting character in this very book for a little while. Up until around issue 16, she's basically Spider-Woman's Shield contact. By Captain America 322, he's gone from the book. Yeah, he's only around here first like year and he's gone. Issue number 2, we have debut of Magnus, a sorcerer. He has a fondness for Jessica Drew. He himself would also become a recurring character in this book for a little while, his last appearance being in Doctor Strange Sorcery number 11. We also see the first Bronze Age appearance of Morgan Le Fay. Her last comic she appeared in, well, not that one. Yeah, her last comic appearing in this book was actually back in Black Knight number 3, released back in May of 1955. This book came out roughly about a little over 20 years later. Yep, we also have a guy called himself Excalibur who was possessed by the Black Knight. He's only here for one issue. Yep, because it's basically her in London for basically, for pretty much basically for the first 8 issues of this book. Her tagline is to know her, to fear her. And then issue 3, she takes on the Brothers Grimm. Which, I believe the Brother Grimm, this was actually his, well, actually no, it was not his debut. He made his appearance before this book in Tales to Suspense number 48, which I believe he showed up in an Iron Man story. Yep, Iron Man story. Yep, and he become like a recurring villain for this book. And then you have her take on the frickin' Hangman. Yes, this guy. Who last appeared back in Wear It by Night number 36. Of course, Beth Foster's here as well. And in case you're curious, though, yeah, basically in the way Hangman became the first recurring villain for Spider-Woman, well, he lived here for 2 issues, and then he finally returned for issue 50. Morgan Le Fay herself. How long did she appear in the book for? Well, she was pretty much a recurring villain in this book. I mean, after issue 6, she's returned in the book to issue number 39. Oh yeah, and issue 6, she has a guest appearance by Wear It by Night. This actually was his first appearance since the end of his own solo book. Now, did this become like a basically book he appeared in right after the cancellation of his solo book? And right after that appearance, he would pop up maybe at least 2 more times in this book. Pop up sporadically, so he basically popped up in the 90s. He would next appear in the book in issue number 19. Yep. Issue 7, we have death of James Wyatt, who was a minor character who appeared for a few years in this book, and he got killed by issue 7. Yep. And by issue 8, we have the one-shot appearance of Samuel Damas. Yeah, and this is when she goes to L.A., and of course we have her talk about her suit in basically the backup story in this book. Yeah, really fun stuff here. Okay, about the suit. Yeah, it's still the same creative team. Overall, really good start for this series. I personally enjoyed it. Yep. I give this book a 10 out of 10. I give also Marvel 2, I give that basically a 9 out of 10 because it feels like basically without one is like, oh, let's have thing on one-shot villains for a handful of issues. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly a particular view. Next up is going to be The Rising of a Short Hero. Okay, next view. Bye.